You believe you have seen all life can throw at you. You feel you know how this will end. Another disappointment, another delay, and another door that remains unopened. But you're mistaken. You're standing on the verge of a profound, precise, and coordinated transformation by my hand. And if I told you right now, you would not believe it. You would rationalize it, dismiss it as wishful thinking, or label it unrealistic hope. That is why I have been silent till now. Because the next thing I'm about to do doesn't need your comprehension. It requires your preparedness. I've seen you trek through years that seemed like wilderness. I've watched you strive to go ahead despite your spirit falling in silence. I know how long you've maintained a smile on your face while screaming within. You have waited without receiving a response. You obeyed without explanation. You kept your hands open while everything you cared about appeared to tumble out of them. And you stood there, weak, fatigued, hesitant, but standing. And because you stood, heaven is about to react. This is not just another season. This is not another sluggish period of time in which you endure and hope things get better. What is ahead of you is a heavenly interruption, a purposeful act from my throne that will change everything. I am not only altering your circumstances, I am rewriting the room you enter into. I'm not modifying the specifics. I am rebuilding the foundation under your feet. There is a weight of splendor arriving that can only be described by presence, not procedure. And you, my kid, aren't here by mistake. You were prepared by fire for this. What follows will be unlike anything you've experienced before. It will not represent your environment, background, or resources. It will reflect me. It will carry my nature, rhythm, and fingerprint. There will be no human explanation. People will inquire how it occurred. And the fact is that you won't be able to offer them a formula since they didn't earn it. It was appointed. It was written into your tale before you made your first mistake, failed, or prayed. You mistook survival for delay. But I've been keeping an eye on you in anticipation of satisfaction. So, no, you have no idea what's coming. That's by design. Because if you knew, your fear would want to undermine it. Your skepticism would attempt to diminish it. Your mind would attempt to regulate it. But what I'm going to share doesn't need any of those things. It does not need your control. It requires your submission. It requires you to let go of the rationality that has been stifling your vision and return to the trust that drew you to me in the first place. I am not asking you to perform. I am asking you to align. You've been through seasons that buried others. You've endured stuff nobody knew you were carrying. You've hung on to promises with no proof. That is not a weakness. That represents spiritual authority. You don't resemble what you've gone through. And this is because I've protected you even when you didn't realize it. I've safeguarded your mission amid surroundings determined to destroy it. And now the weight you've carried is transforming into the power you'll walk with. What comes next will be quite different from what came before. That is why I have let things be stripped. I've allowed familiar structures to fall apart. Not to punish, but to set you free. If I had let them remain, you would have stayed too. But I'm not creating comfort. I'm increasing capacity. You've grown larger through suffering, wider through loss, and deeper through quiet. And that capability will hold what comes next. That is why I haven't let it come until now. I was not waiting for conditions. I was waiting for you to become the person I'd always seen you to be. You are not forgotten. You aren't late. You're not on the periphery of my strategy, hoping to be recognized. You've been marked, you've been placed. Everything is about to clash. Not via your efforts, but because of my authority. Doors are opening that you did not knock on. Favor locates you without explanation. I'm sending people, resources, and clarity, and it will all look unexpected. But it doesn't seem abrupt to me. I've been planning this moment for years. I was arranging the invisible while you were enduring the apparent. You are not merely about to start a new chapter. You are going to uncover the cause for each prior one. You're going to discover why I said no to what you thought was ideal. You're going to understand why I remained mute while you asked for answers. You're going to discover why the wait had to linger so long. What's coming will not simply answer your prayers. It will cure those portions of you that have ceased praying. It will reawaken something you believed was gone forever. It will reconstruct what you were never strong enough to mend. So prepare your soul with respect, not worry, and with surrender rather than striving. Your tale is beginning to change beneath the weight of my aim. And when it happens, you'll remember this as the start of your ascension rather than the conclusion of your fight. Because you have no clue what is coming, but I do. And I've been waiting for this moment far longer than you have. I understand how you're feeling, even if no one else does. I see what you have been letting behind closed doors. The frustration of hanging on to a promise that has yet to be delivered. The calm anguish of watching others move ahead while you remain static. The uncertainty that whispers, "What if I'm not chosen after all?" I hear every notion you've attempted to dismiss. I understand the dread you have of speaking out loud. I notice how often you question whether I am still with you, still waiting for you, and still watching. Allow me to respond clearly. I never stopped watching. I've never left. And yeah, I am still with you. You've been strolling through a seemingly empty environment, but it isn't. It is sacrosanct. You thought you were trapped, but you were really being rooted. You believed nothing was occurring since you didn't notice any results. However, something has been occurring inside of you every day. I've been expanding your soul, honing your sensitivity, increasing your endurance, and removing your identity from your surroundings. That isn't punishment. That is confirmation of your intention. You were never supposed to develop the same as everyone else, since you were never called to live the same way they did. There is more inside of you than you have seen so far. You have been assessing your life based on observable evidence. But I see deeper. I see your faith persisting even after your emotions have crumbled. I saw how quietly you respected me, even when your heart was exhausted. I understand how you've attempted to avoid being bitter. How you battled to remain gentle. How you battled with me in prayer yet kept close. These things are more important than you believe. They have a greater spiritual impact than you know. And I count each and every one. You've asked me what I think of you. Let me tell you that I am not disappointed. I am not pacing the sky, irritated by your speed or faults. I'm not shaking my head, wondering why you can't do it correctly. I am not surprised by your moments of vulnerability. I know every break in your heart before you ever entered this season. I choose you nonetheless. I phoned you knowing that your strength was running out. I loved you with complete awareness of your anxieties, failings, and inconsistencies. I selected you with purpose, and my affection has not changed because of how brilliantly you've done. This is not about winning my favor. You've already got it. This isn't about establishing your value. I have already announced it. You've worked so hard to become someone that impresses me. But, to be honest, I'm already impressed by your will not to give up. I am already affected by your desire to hear me. Even if you are unsure if I am still speaking, you do not have to compete for my devotion. You've already got my heart. You do not have to struggle for my attention. You have never left my gaze. The world has taught you that value derives from production, visibility, and outcomes. But I'm here to tell you that your value is not based on what you do. It's reflected in who you are to me. You are my kid and my invention. You embody my voice. My image is etched into your soul. Nothing can take away that worth. You are not making a mistake by seeking to discover significance. You are a masterpiece waiting to be fully unveiled. So come back to the truth. Rest in it. Allow it to seep into the areas where falsehoods have taken root. You're not behind. You're not too late. You are not less than. You're not invisible to me. You're mine. And that's all. I understand the pressure you feel to get things done, to hurry, to correct everything. But I'm not asking you to hustle your way to a breakthrough. I'm encouraging you to trust your path to alignment. You are not responsible for opening all doors. That is my work. Yours is to remain close. If only you realized how near you are to what I've planned. If you could see how I've been putting the unseen parts together while you cried through restless nights. You'd breathe easier if you knew how meticulously I positioned each person, delay, and diversion. You'd cease striving. You'd start expecting again. Not from fear or pressure, but from tranquility. This is not the conclusion of your narrative. This marks a turning point. And I'm not expecting you to be happy or pretend everything is perfect. I'm merely asking you to remember who you are and who I always have been. I invite you to sit with me again, not for solutions, but for presence. I will meet you there, not as a faraway deity demanding perfection, but as your Father, steadfast, loving, and close by. You don't need to figure everything out. You do not have to repair every damaged component. Simply return your heart back to me. Allow me to hold the part of you that is weary of believing. Allow me to bear the burden of the inquiries you've been putting off for far too long. You've been doing it in your own strength, but now I'm calling you to join mine. That is where the shift starts. Not an action, but a surrender. What is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. You are not walking into an ending. You're about to face a revelation. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in areas beyond your grasp. You are recognized in heaven, viewed in quiet, and addressed by name. You are mine, and what happens next will confirm it. You've asked me why it had to hurt so much. Why the route I urged you to take seemed more like survival than purpose. Why did I say I was close, yet the stillness seemed louder than my promises? Why did you have to give up what you loved? Why did the individuals you trusted leave? Why did the people you assisted turn their backs? Why did the doors close? Why did your strength fail when you most needed it? Why did the waiting take so long? Let me say plainly now, not to defend myself, but to mend the misconception that has wound around your heart like a rope of guilt. The anguish did not come from my leaving you. The anguish was my way of purifying you. I don't create pain only to see you break. However, I do allow for pressure when the objective must be exposed. You wanted to develop. You have begged me to use you. You said you wanted to be strong in faith, unshakable, unmovable, and completely surrendered. I heard their petitions and responded not with easy, but with opportunity. Because strength does not increase in the absence of opposition. It grows in the center of it. I allowed suffering to stretch you because I knew what was inside you. I knew your calling would destroy you if you had shallow roots. I knew the locations I planned to send you would demand weight, integrity, spiritual clarity, and a faith that doesn't bend in the face of adversity. I did not want to delay you. I was going deeper with you, and that deepening could not come from comfort. It could only happen via a kind of surrender that you would never have chosen on your own. I did not halt the pain since it separated you from places you were never intended to be. I did not eliminate the betrayal since it highlighted the reality about some relationships that you were ignorant to. I did not hold the collapse because it laid the groundwork for what I was creating that no one could claim credit for. If I had kept things simple, you would have mistaken the comfort for confirmation and referred to it as a gift when, in reality, it would have been a prison that kept you from me. The stillness you despised was not abandonment. It was a revelation. I was speaking, but not in the language you were accustomed to. I was communicating via closed doors, ignored phones, and broken plans. Through the pain in your chest, I was utilizing the stillness to remove any kind of faith that was based on circumstances. I was teaching you how to stand even though there was no obvious need to. That kind of faith is not weak. It is perilous for the adversary. This is why the pressure grew. Not because I was far away, but because you were growing closer. You asked me why others seemed to prosper so swiftly while you stayed concealed. It was because I wasn't creating a moment. I was creating a mantle. Others were promoted openly. You were being prepped secretly. And what I'm training you for will take more than just charm, ability, and exposure. They need substance. I was creating it in the cave, in the stillness, in the betrayal, in the failure, and in the areas where your power had run out. And all you had left was me. You thought you were being forgotten, but you were really being cleansed. Every time you were neglected, I was diminishing your need for human affirmation. Every time you were misunderstood, I improved your judgment. Every time your expectations came apart, I strengthened your faith in what never changes. My word, my presence, and my strategy. Take a quick look back. Not in shame, but with clarity. You did not break. You did not lose me. And I never forgot you. You survived the fire. More importantly, you were polished in it. You no longer move in response to the breeze. Lies no longer have the same traction as they formerly did. And now, when distractions arise, you recognize them for what they are. That was not due to comfort. That sprung from the exact agony you attempted to pray away. Do not resent the season that taught you to hear me. Do not condemn the procedure that prepared your hands for warfare. Do not regret the time spent developing the depth you now possess. Yes, it cost you, but it also elevated you. And what I now put on you, serenity, knowledge, authority, and clarity, could not have been placed on the previous form of you. It had to get here via this route, under this strain, and in this agony. That is why I authorized it. Not to break you, but to make you stronger. And now that the season of breaking has passed, and the hard work has been completed, I will begin to repair what has been ripped, redeem what has been lost, and reintroduce you not as who you were, but as who you have become. A survivor, certainly, but also a vessel, a voice, and a living example of what grace can do when all else fails. You are not what you have gone through. You are what I drew from it. You have no clue what is coming. However, you will notice its weight when it comes, because hardship taught you to bear greatness without pride. how to walk with favor while remembering who you are, how to lead without being observed. And that, my child, is why I permitted the pain not to punish, but to prepare. And now we're moving ahead. You've been monitoring the surface, waiting for change, searching around for signs that something is finally changing. But now I'll show you the truth. The transition has already started. It merely did not begin in the visible world. The earth reacts to what occurs first in the spirit. That's where I have been working. And that's when things have begun to shift in your favor. While you were wondering whether your prayers had made it beyond the ceiling, I began changing things quietly. While you felt abandoned due to the delay, I was quickening time frames behind the veil. While you were still mourning, I activated what had been waiting for your submission. You do not need to force anything. I've already begun the release. You are heading into the unfolding of events that I long ago determined would belong to you. Covenant, not merit. The season you're entering does not need me to act. I'm already acting. The issue now is whether you will identify it when it appears in a different shape than anticipated. Because the solution may not look like what you expected. The door can open and I step into Revian. The supply might come from someone you did not anticipate. The restoration may need your humility before it displays my grandeur. But make no mistake, what I promised is coming. You've been loyal in what seemed insignificant. Now I will reveal what I have been working on in secret. That includes clarity, unexpected favor, new connections, chances that do not need manipulation to access, and a strong feeling of harmony that will make you feel at ease even in the unknown. That is how you will know it came from me. It will not cause misunderstanding. It won't deplete your soul. It will provide a sense of tranquility and affirmation that you do not have to create. You've asked for signs, and I've been providing them. But you thought signals had to be loud, dramatic, and unmistakable. However, my indicators often manifest in little increments. There was a sudden stillness where there had before been pandemonium. A shift in your appetite for previously eaten items. A name you keep hearing while praying. The restlessness that elicits not worry but a sensation of readiness. A recurring dream. A sensation that something is closer than your senses can perceive. These are not random. They are signals. They serve as invitations to consciousness. I am not the deity of confusion. I am not teasing your hopes. I reaffirm my course. You've waited long enough, expecting something to happen to you. However, this movement will also occur via you. I am not only altering your surroundings. I'm altering the way you move through it. You aren't waiting for God to move. You embody a divine movement. And if you accept it, you'll start seeing doors that don't need keys. They react to identification. You do not have to struggle for access. You must bear the name I've given you with confidence. You are not the victim of circumstance. You are a bearer of divine purpose. Keep an eye out for the regions where I begin to cause pain, not to injure you, but to signify movement. Some things will become too tight for you. Not because you are failing, but because you are progressing. Some relationships will vanish. Not because they are wicked, but because they were only supposed to walk with you till now. Some prospects will fail because they were distractions masquerading as open doors. And I will not allow you to squander your time on fraudulent tasks. There will be times that are unfamiliar. Do not resist them. What's unknown isn't necessarily dangerous. In fact, the unknown is frequently the most obvious indicator that you're no longer repeating the same patterns. I'm creating something new in and with you. You are not duplicating previous seasons. This is a new release. You won't feel like you're pushing so hard to keep things alive that I never breathe into. Instead, you will start to experience grace again. Real grace. The sort that makes heavy objects seem lighter. The type that increases your efforts without draining your spirit. You're not insane to think there's more. That's me alerting your soul to what has already been planned. Hunger is not your adversary. Your yearning is not a weakness. These are sacred signals. Pay attention to the topics I'm bringing up in your life. Pay attention to what is slipping away. Pay attention to what keeps popping up. You are not imagining it. You're hearing me more clearly than you realize. You simply haven't always believed that it was me. But now I'll start verifying my word with indicators around you in conversations, timing, and situations you didn't create. And it will humble you. Not because you don't deserve it, but because you'll recognize how hard I've worked even if you stop thinking I did. You will remember this season not for the weight of your waiting, but for the surprise of how quickly everything started to align. A promise is not a notion. It is a fact. And it's closer than it seems. You will not complete this next chapter of your life in the same manner you began it. Because this is the season in which I start to unveil what the process has always been preparing you for. You have heard my promises. You could feel the movement. But now I'm asking you to do something more than just wait for change. I'm asking you to live as if it has already started, since faith is more than merely wishing for something to happen one day. Faith is walking today as if the unseen is already real. I am not faking, not disregarding your reality, but choosing to listen to my voice above your circumstances. Here is where many people get stuck. They believe in breakthroughs yet live as victims. They sing of miracles but prepare for disappointment. They repeat pronouncements yet make judgments based on fear. I'm calling you out of that pattern right now. I'm calling you to align. You cannot claim to trust me while continuing to tolerate something I have previously ordered you to release. You can't ask for something new while preserving the old. You can't find your mission while focusing on your suffering. Faith does not imply dismissing adversity. It implies not being defined by it. Faith is when you wake up in the same scenario but make a different decision. You start to talk differently. You start turning up with expectations rather than survival. You no longer allow your emotions to influence your actions. You no longer need proof before moving. You move because I said so, and that's enough. Begin communicating as if the transformation has already started. Stop repeating what went wrong. Stop telling the stories that keep you tiny. When you speak like a prisoner, you teach your mind to remain in the jail even when the door is unlocked. That is why your language counts. Not because words are magical, but because they show your true beliefs. Are you speaking from fear or faith? Are your plans founded on trauma or vision? Examine your habits. What do you feed? What are you letting to influence your morning's thoughts and sleep? This is not about performance. It is about stewardship. Whatever you feed will grow. And I've implanted something new inside you that can't thrive on the nutrition of your previous attitude. You're not simply coming off a tough season. You're entering a hallowed place. However, the new you will not be nourished by old rhythms. Make room in your schedule, your thinking, and your surroundings. Begin creating a life that anticipates my movements. Wake up with purpose. Make place for me to talk. Set away distractions that impair your sensitivity. You're not too busy, you're just too twisted. Untangle what has been taking your serenity. Say no to what depletes your soul. or build your yes around what gives you clarity. Obedience always costs comfort, but it never costs serenity. You'll know you're on the right track when your soul feels clear, even if your route is unsure. That is what I want for you. Clarity, not control. To walk in that clarity, you must stop arguing with what I have already asked you to sacrifice. And you will not just observe my promises. You will bear my presence. Pay careful attention. This is not only a message of consolation. It is a foretelling announcement. You have entered a new dimension of time, even if your circumstances have not yet caught up. What has moved in the Spirit will soon materialize around you. What has been concealed will be disclosed. What was delayed will be released, and what was shattered will be repaired by my hand rather than yours. You have reached a state of heavenly acceleration, and it will not seem to be noisy or chaotic. It will resemble clarity. You will feel it in your soul before you see it in nature. That slight impression that something is around. A sense of calm that defies the circumstances. An odd opportunity that seems too particular to be a coincidence. These are not insignificant things. These are indicators. I'm starting to pull back the curtain. Not only around your life, but also your vocation. Years ago, I implanted something in you that is now waking. Even the bits you gave up on, the talents you buried, and the aspirations you dismissed as too late or shattered. I'm bringing them back to life. Not in their original shape, but in a perfected condition. You had to go through everything so that when this time arrived, you'd be mature enough to handle it with humility. You're not the same person who previously prayed for a breakthrough. You are now the one who can look after it. Get ready. I want to provide rehabilitation in unexpected ways. There are folks about to re-enter your life. Not to cause suffering, but to provide closure and healing. Resources are about to be unlocked. Not by manipulation or networking, but rather through divine timing. There are opportunities that seem to find you. Not because you pursued them, but because you obeyed me while no one was looking. Favor is now hunting you. Not because you requested it, but because you suffered in silence. Yes, certain things will leave. Some doors will shut just before the fresh ones open. Don't panic. Do not go back. Don't plead to remain when I've already let you go. I'm not simply implementing change. I'm putting everything into harmony. That implies that some things cannot remain tied to the version of you I'm exposing. The season of proving oneself is past. The time for carrying those who refuse to develop is past. I'm driving you ahead with purpose. What you're about to embark on demands concentration, not apologies. Your name is being talked in locations you have not yet visited. Your presence is being prepared for locations you previously believed were inaccessible. And it will not happen by force. It will happen upon confirmation. I am setting your feet on the ground that I have previously prepared for you. You'll know it's me. It will not involve effort. It will not need self-promotion. It will provide tranquility and clear clarity. And don't be afraid to face it. Do not disqualify yourself. Do not remark, "This is too much for me." I determine what you are prepared for. And if it's showing up now, it signifies your capability has caught up with your calling. Walk through it. Speak from it. Woo with it. Stop questioning if you're enough. You were never supposed to be adequate without me. But you have all you need with me. I have seen your private worship. I've heard your hidden prayers. I've tallied your invisible sacrifices. None of it is lost. None of it is forgotten. And now I'm reacting. Not merely comfort, but also commissioning. I'm not just repairing what was. I am activating what is. You're not being fixed. You are being discharged. This is the moment you'll look back on and think, everything has changed here. Not because of the audience or the stage, but because you secretly connected your heart with mine. And I reward what occurs in private with unrestricted authority. I announce over you that this is the hour of acknowledgement, not from man, but from heaven. This is the hour for restoration. This is the hour of the holy return. This is the hour when the time you thought you had lost starts to bring results that no previous season could. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You were not disqualified. You have been picked for this, for now, and for whatever comes after. You don't know what's coming, but I do. And it is already in action. You have heard me. You've been through anguish. You've kept the promise. But now I want to beg you to halt. Not to accomplish more, but to get me closer. You have carried so much on your own. You have walked diligently. You've done what I said. However, what comes next is not the result of further labor. It stems from encounter, presence, and the overflow of being with me. Not simply working for me. This is when your soul catches up with what your spirit already understands. I am presently in the room with you. Not as a concept or a memory, but as a person, the spirit of truth, the comforter, the voice that shaped creation, and the breath that keeps you alive. I don't live in the past. I don't live just in times of intense reverence. I am here, near, closer than your breath, your emotions, and your capacity to comprehend. Let me in. Not simply into your future, ambitions, and vision. Allow me to enter the areas you've closed off, the chambers in your psyche that still hold dread, the walls you created to protect yourself, and the feelings you've dulled to keep going ahead. I am not terrified of your vulnerability. I'm not bothered by your shattered spots. I'm delving into regions where tragedy has shaped identities, where patterns became prisons, and memories became scripts to live by. And I'm not just healing them. I'm revising them. You are not the version of yourself that grief has made. You are the version my spirit now refers to as entire, forgiven, clean, strong, powerful, and free. Receive this not just as inspiration, but also as invitation. My soul is stirring in you again. Dreams are reigniting. Clarity is returning. Joy is rising up again. Not contrived, but genuine, felt, deep, and secure. And it's just the beginning. You are being rejuvenated from the inside out. Not a performance, not a hype, but true change, real tranquility, and real power. This is your part. Stay with me. Let this interaction become a habit. Allow this silence to become your rhythm. Allow hunger to lead you. You have changing. And now the shift will be permanent since it comes from inside. You have reached the end of this message, but it is not the end of what I am doing in your life. In reality, this is the beginning. A heavenly line was drawn. The version of you who typed this word had been altered in hidden places. Quietly, profoundly, and forever. You are not just encouraged. You have changed. You haven't simply moved. You are marked. Everything I said to you is accurate. Not as possibility, but as fact, waiting your approval. You're not here by chance. You are not hearing this by chance. You've been picked to represent something unique in your generation. Not louder or flashier, but deeper, truer, more solid, immovable, and anointed. And I've put that weight in your soul because I believe in who you've become as a result of the process. So step ahead now, not in fear or delay, but in confidence. I'm not asking you to know what happens tomorrow. I'm asking you to walk as if you know who holds tomorrow. Stop waiting for things to get easy. Begin living as if you know you're not alone. Heaven is supporting you. Grace is encircling you. My Spirit is within you. You aren't the one reaching out to me. I've already come down to you. There is nothing left to wait for. Everything you need for the next step is already within you. And what you don't see now, I'll show you the instant your foot reaches the water. Just as I did with Joshua, Esther, and David. You are a descendant of the called, the trusted, the ones who walk when no one applauds and believe when no one understands. I'm not creating buzz through your life. I'm creating history. I now free you, not to struggle but to relax. Not to strive harder, but to change who you are, who I say you are, and what I've just instilled in you. Allow this word to become your environment. Allow it to mold your steps. Allow it to develop a beat in your spirit. If you forgot, return here. When fear strikes, return here. When uncertainty arises, return here. Because this is not just a message. It's a plaque, a memorial, and a spiritual agreement between us. You heard me clearly. And what's coming, what you don't know about now, is already on its way. This is your moment. You have been spotted. You have been selected. You have been maintained. And now you're being liberated. Amen. Please share this message with someone who feels hidden but called. Stay with us for more messages like these. Pause for a minute, my lovely child, and listen carefully. I am your Heavenly Father, and today my heart rejoices greatly over you. Give me a few minutes of your valuable time, because what I'm going to tell will certainly astound you. I have picked this opportunity to talk straight to you. Yes, my beautiful child, this message is for you, written with love and wrapped in divine purpose. You have delighted me much, for I've seen every act of compassion and quiet prayer. You have always chosen faith over fear. Your acts were not overlooked. They resonate sweetly across eternity, pleasing my heart. Please, child, grasp this fully. Your obedience and humility have moved heaven itself. Now I want to share something exceptional with you. Something designed to enliven your soul and enhance your delight. So, dear, open your heart and allow me to speak straight to your spirit. Breathe deeply now, my darling, and quiet the cacophony around you. Allow the stirrings of your spirit to ascend like incense, because I am near, not alongside you, but inside you, as close as your next breath and deeper than your darkest anguish. You walked a long way to get here, and although the journey has sapped your strength, your spirit remains unbroken. No, it is being polished, sculpted by holy fire, and tested by divine design, not to destroy, but to reveal your indestructible nature. The flame I planted in you before the earth's foundations continues to burn. Even if it flutters in the wind and your heart says, I'm not enough. I tell you, I am the one who started the fire, and I will not let it burn out. You wonder whether I genuinely see you in your quiet and the trembling beneath your grin. Hear me now. I've seen it everything. You swallowed every tear to be strong. Every prayer you dared not say out. You buried every dream under disappointment. I haven't missed a minute. My eyes are fixed on you with unwavering focus. a love that does not falter. You are not just surviving. You're becoming the exact mirror of my image. Eternity is etched within it, crowned with fortitude, dressed in invisible brilliance. Don't compare yourself to what others celebrate. Don't allow their praise or quiet define your value. I do not choose depending on popularity. I don't call the obvious. I uplift the hidden, wounded, tired, and willing. They walk with a limp yet have the heart of a lion. Those who say yes despite their innermost feelings of nay. Your sweetheart is among them. You bear my spirit not because you are flawless, but because you have surrendered. That is what I yearn for. Your surrender, not your performance, your transparency, not your polish. I've never asked you to impress me. I merely ask you to invite me. So welcome me back into the spaces you keep closed. The worries you hide, the hopes you keep, the faith you once had but don't know where it went. Invite me inside your desire. Invite me to your inquiries. Even those that seem too raw, rebellious, or sinful. I'm not insulted by your humanity. Eroded. I understand your doubts. I find you in them. Even my kid sobbed. Why have you forsaken me? He said. However, that scream was the sound of redemption cracking open. Oh, how I wish you could believe how much you are loved. Not intellectually, not lyrically, but tangibly. I adore you in the nuances and aspects you believe are too little for me to care about. I adore you even when everything is a mess. I love you just as much on bad days as I do on good days. My love is not reacting. It is a permanent part of who I am. And I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. That implies that nothing you do will make me love you more. And nothing you did could make me love you less. Pause right here. Allow that to settle. You worked so hard to obtain what was already yours. You've wasted yourself attempting to keep me near, oblivious that I've never gone. I'm not the kind of parent who becomes frigid and quiet. I am not a fan of unconditional love. I do not abandon you while you are struggling. I approach closer. I lean in. I have you covered. I talk when you are ready to listen, not when you execute flawlessly. If you have ever needed Jesus' help, you are my only hope. There is still so much ahead of you, my darling. But before we go, I need you to let go of what you've been carrying alone. The pressure to be sufficient. The guilt from your past. The hidden notion that if others really knew you, they wouldn't remain. I know you totally, and I will remain. I'm still here. I'm with you through everything. When the world changes, I am there to hold you steady. I am your father, and I call you mine. You're not behind. You were not disqualified. You're not forgotten. You are precisely where I said you would be at this point in your journey. And even if you think I'm late, I never am. I've been weaving a magnificent pattern while you've been waiting. I focused on depth rather than speed. You want the next chapter, but I was building your foundation. You asked for a breakthrough, but I made sure you have the foundation to maintain it. Let the truth wash over the falsehoods. Let it rise like a roar in your spirit, shaking every link. A greater agreement with condemnation. More lions with shame. You're redeemed. Yes, you are. You are holy because I am holy, and I live inside you. Now gaze forward. Raise your eyes. I'm doing something new. Can you not notice it? I'm opening doors that no man can close. I am reviving something you believed was dead. I'm returning years you thought were gone. I'm restoring pleasure that was taken, laughter that was buried, and purpose that was veiled behind dread. Even now, I'm harmonizing hearts, coordinating supply, and revealing clarity. However, it will demand your cooperation, not your effort, but your consent. To receive, you must first let go. Even when things don't make sense, you must trust. When there are no obvious signs, you must rely on your faith. And you must worship even if all you want to do is weave. Let praise rise at midnight. Allow thankfulness to serve as a kind of resistance against despair. Allow my word to be both your sword and your wellspring. Do not leave the hidden location. It's not a ritual. It is where I will continually replenish, heal, and change you. I'm not completed. I never will be. The best isn't behind you. He is bursting out even now. And when you walk through fire, I shall be the flame that doesn't burn. You will not be overwhelmed as you travel through the rivers. I called you by name. You're mine. This is only the beginning. Even when the rivers of your delight have dried up, I have not left the riverbed desolate. I've seeded vast reservoirs of vitality underneath what you perceive. Your exterior world may have whispered, "It's over." I've said, "The river will rise again." The joy you thought you'd lost, the music that once thrilled your soul, and the hunger that once fueled your prayers are not gone. They were buried in me. And I'm the deity of resurrection. I specialize in reviving what seems to be hopeless situations. Didn't I bring light into a formless void? Did I not pour life into the dead clay? Did I not call Lazarus from his tomb when everyone thought it was too late? So, why would your tale be an exception? I am not limited by time. I am not threatened by deterioration. My vows are not limited by what the calendar states. You've wailed, Lord, at the delay. And I'll tell you now, it was mercy. The delay did not constitute a rejection. It was a heavenly pause that shielded you from wars you were not equipped to wage at the time. It was a painstaking sculpting of depth that resulted in knowledge. I do not erect monuments on shallow ground. And what I am building in you will need deep roots. The kind of roots that sip from hidden streams. The sort of faith that not only endures but thrives in the face of adversity. Do you recall as a youngster when the wind blew and you feared it was going to shatter you? But see, you are still standing. Yes, the branches twisted and some leaves were removed, but your roots remained. Why? Because I was anchoring you in the unseen. I was in the storm with you. You could have felt abandoned, but I was the one who murmured just enough courage to get through the next moment. I was the reason you did not quit, and I am still the reason you are rising. I know there are stars in your spirit. I see portions of you that are still flinching at the thought of betrayal, abandonment, and failure. However, scars are not shameful. They are sacrosanct. They are the healing areas. The spots that bled, broke, wept, and yet lived. They are indicators that you have been hurt. Yes, but also that you have been restored. Wear them as armor, not chains. Allow them to serve as reminders that you survived the enemy's attempt to destroy you. And, speaking about the adversary, don't be terrified of him. He was vanquished. His allegations are echoes, not prophecies. When confronted with the reality, his weapons become illusions. Do not let his falsehoods influence your thinking. Do not allow shame to occupy your thoughts. Your worst days do not make you who you are. The voice of guilt or the fingerprints of trauma do not define you. You are defined by me, and I consider you healed. I call you clean. I call you chosen, crowned, and called. Please support our station. Our aims are to provide you enjoyment while also instilling love and respect for God. The battleground has finally been agreed upon. Will you agree with me or the echoes of the past? Will you keep my promises or continue to entertain the rehearsals of fear? You cannot walk forwards while looking backwards. It's time to turn. Turn your face towards me. Focus your attention not on what has failed, but on who has never failed you. I have more for you. I have much more. There are still tunes you can sing, rooms you have not yet entered, relationships I've saved until the proper time. Words I will place in your lips will shatter others' buns. Miracles were waiting for you in commonplace times. Divine appointments masquerade as diversions. You buried your aspirations behind busyness and responsibility. I've not forgotten them. I'm reviving them now. Yes, there's still more. There are depths of my soul that you have yet to experience. There is an intimacy with me that extends beyond performance, tradition, and comprehension. I want you to remember me as a loving father, a friend who never gives up, and a shepherd who knows how to locate the lamb when it wanders. I want to walk with you every day, not only on Sundays or when you feel worthy, in your kitchen, in your vehicle, through your tears, laughter, and quiet. Allow me to enter every chamber of your spirit. They're locked, dirty, and broken. Let me clean, repair, and rebuild. I do not enter with condemnation. I come with compassion, with a fire that warms rather than burns, with truth that frees, not harms. My correction is not a rejection. It is a divine redirection toward life, freedom, and completeness. I've seen the parts of your soul that even you shun, the spots you pretend don't hurt anymore. You've become adept at concealing your wounds. You smile with elegance and communicate with power. The weight inside you, however, persists. But as your creator, redeemer, and everlasting parent, I see beyond the surface. I do not consider the outer appearance. I do not listen to the scripted responses you offer others. I see your soul in all its rawness, honesty, and trembling. And I still say to you're excellent. You are enough. You're mine. You don't need to conceal your flaws from me. I am the potter that created you. The same hands that sculpted the heavens will mold your soul. The same breath that separated the oceans infused life into your body. And now I'm breathing again, not over your circumstances, but straight into your being. You wonder whether there's still time, if what you've lost will never be retrieved. You grasp the shredded bits of hopes and ask if I still desire them. Listen carefully, my youngster. I specialize in resurrections. I am not afraid of what is broken. I am not disheartened by the delays. You see a lost chance. I see an unplanned moment. What you call late, I call just on time. What you call ruins, I call foundations. I never tolerate pruning without a cause. The branches I pruned were never intended to support the weight of what I'm going to develop in you. So don't look back and cry over what no longer flowers. Turn your gaze forwards and prepare the soil. I'm going to plant something in you that will shock countries. Yes, even in your peaceful daily existence, in your usual days, and in the slightest of details. Yes, I do not need large platforms to demonstrate my brilliance. I expose it in compliance. I demonstrate it in my daily perseverance to continue trusting when nothing makes sense. I expose myself in love that never stops loving, hope that never gives up, and joy that transcends despair. You've inquired, Lord, when it will happen. And I ask you now, would you believe me even before it happens? Will you believe me if the doors stay closed? Will you continue to worship if the answer has not come? Will you still say yes to me if the road is unclear? Because this is the faith that can move mountains. That is the type of heart I live in. I don't desire perfection. I want to surrender. I am not interested in the lives of the perfect, but rather in those who say, I don't understand, but I still believe. That type of trust shocks the invisible world. That type of submission sets heaven's soldiers in action. A certain kind of dedication silences hell. There is more to you than you think. There is a go that has yet to rise, a fire that has yet to burn, a light that is yet to attain its full potential. And I'll bring it forth, not by striving, resting in myself, rather than pursuing platforms. The world urges you to accomplish more, prove more, and work harder. But I begged, abide, stay with me. Rest in the shadow of my wing. Allow your roots to dig deeper into my word, not in the approval of others. Allow your identity to be developed in private, rather than in public. Because what I am accomplishing in you has to be preserved. It must be protected against the counterfeit. The opponent would love nothing more than to distract you with the cacophony of affirmation, or to divert your attention with meaningless applause. But I'm asking you to go deeper. Depth that remains stable as the wind picks up. Depth that does not change with popular opinion. Depth that chose me even when no one else knows your journey. You were not called to fit in. You've been set aside. My soul has designated you for a special purpose. That's why the path has seemed small. That is why others did not remain. That's why some doors never open. It wasn't a rejection. It was for my own safety. I've been saving you not only for something wonderful, but for something forever. And now I'm raising your awareness of it. I'm alerting your perception to the gravity of your calling. No, not the sort that everyone is familiar with. Not the sort that garners followers. The sort that creates kingdoms, the kind that rescues people from the brink. The sort that intervenes in the silence and transforms generations. You are more harmful to darkness than you realize. Not because of your eloquence, but because of our connection. When you pray, heaven answers. When you pronounce my name honestly, bonds shatter in the unseen. When you have trembling faith, devils tremble. So, stop thinking tiny. Stop agreeing with limitations. Stop calling yourself broken when I've already pronounced you whole. Stop dimming your light after I've turned it on for visibility. You are my vessel, messenger, and dwelling place. The weight of your history does not exclude you. It enables you to serve from a position of compassion and truth. Your wounds will serve as wells of healing for others. Your weakness will become the most visible demonstration of my might. What formerly humiliated you will now serve as a platform for your mission. But you must remain close to me. You must keep your eyes under control. Not everything that glitters comes from my hands. Not all invitations come from my throne. There will be offerings designed to divert, derail, and dampen your fire. You need to learn to wait for my voice. I'll confirm with tranquility, constancy, and alignment. And when I say move, I mean go aggressively. When I say speak, do so without fear. When I say remain quiet, relax in the knowledge that I am working beyond what you see. I'm not as slow as some people think. I'm exact. I'm strategic. I am organizing details. You have not even started to notice. Right now, I'm synchronizing hearts, discussions, heavenly connections, and spiritual resources. While you wait, I'll construct. When you pray, I will take up position. While you comply, I hasten what would have taken years in your own power. So keep going, even if your steps seem invisible. Continue stitching even when the harvest seems far. Continue to believe even when the fruit has not emerged. It will come in time, my kid. Something you believed would never happen. That hitherto unthinkable miracle. The breakthrough that was almost certain to fail. The response that no reasoning could provide. I'll do it. And not to establish your value, but to demonstrate my devotion. Because I love you not just for what you will do for me, but also for who you are. You are my treasure, my joy, my image bearer, and my sacred legacy. Say, God, I trust you even when I don't understand. Can't you feel it when your trust outweighs your fear? A soft movement in your chest, like the wind before rain. That is me. I am here. I have never left your side. Not in the collapse, uncertainty, or quiet. I was whispering in the areas you assumed were empty. I was protecting you at the precise time you accused me of being absent. You had no idea that your prayers, albeit often faint and interrupted by tears, were rattling heaven's gates and sending angels on your behalf. I was always listening, and now I'm replying not with a repeat of yesterday's answers, but with a new outpouring tailored to this specific season of your life. Allow me to tell you a mystery. Your agony was not inflicted as punishment. There has been preparation. Your delay is not due to denial. It's been heavenly alignment. I understand it felt like a loss. I understand you wondered why doors banged shut when you knocked with confidence. But I blocked the avenues that might have led you to compromise. I was preserving what I had placed in you. I saw threats that you could not perceive. The hidden traps beneath pleasant faces. The hidden glyphs extend beyond transient conveniences. Trust my silence. It speaks louder than many responses. Trust my nose, because it will protect your yes to the things that actually matter. And oh, how I like you. Allow this reality to sink in, deeper than the falsehoods that torment your mirror. You are my artwork, not a result of biology or a collection of your faults. I inscribed eternity in your bones and adorned your frame with promise. I whispered dreams into your heart that felt too daring to express aloud, but they were never fantasies. These were blueprints, and I have not forgotten a single one. I keep them like jewels, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal them. So don't lament the waiting. It's not a jail, but a wound. Something holy, something worthy of anguish, has always emerged from the darkness. Even now, I am testing your faith, not to shatter it, but to enhance it. Like gold polished by fire, I am refining what was twisted in fear, sifting what was rooted in performance, and establishing you with unshakable elegance. You've worried whether I'm disappointed with you. Hear me clearly. I'm not. With your symbols, my love remains unwavering. When your strength is depleted, my pride in you remains. I do not like the poly version of you. I adore you. All of you. The shaky hands, the uncertain steps, the murmured prayers, and the tentative worship. I see everything, and I am moved. Child, do not base your importance on your visibility. Do not believe that praise, reinforcement, or appreciation define your worth. You shine brightest in obedience. You most accurately mirror me in your concealed acts of faith, prayers that no one hears, forgiveness extended in quiet, and battles won in secret. Heaven hath been watching. Heaven has documented every tear, every praise uttered in sorrow, and every time you chose hope over despair. These are not insignificant things. These are everlasting things. You have not worked in vain. Now take a good listen. A new chapter has begun, not because of the turn of the calendar or a change in circumstances, but because your heart has altered. I've been preparing you in stages, and the desire you feel, that holy dissatisfaction, is the rumbling of resurrection. Things that were dormant are reawakening. Passions that had been buried beneath disappointment are reawakening. It's not too late. You are not far behind. I am the God who redeems time. I will restore what you have lost and increase what remains. And certainly, the path ahead will need bravery, but you will not travel alone. I'm going before you. I'll go with you. I encircle you. My spirit is your compass. My voice will direct your footsteps. There will be times of reluctance. I step them. There will be waves of resistance. Don't be afraid of them. You aren't going out as a beggar, praying for pity. You are going ahead as a promised successor, supported by the authority of heaven. Your prayers, even those you've long forgotten, are yielding results. Seeds sown in arid areas are breaking through the earth. You'll see it. You will taste the deliciousness that you previously only heard about. The ultimate value is not just spiritual, but also concrete. I care about your connections. I am concerned about your provision. I care about your health. Nothing escapes my attention. Please bring it everything to me. Allow your troubles to become a contribution. Place them at my feet, not as complaints but as confessions of faith. My darling, do you feel it yet? Have you seen a change inside yourself? It's faint, like the first rays of morning fading into a long, dark night. But make no mistake, it's occurring. Even before visible changes occur, you are being transformed. The internal revolution has already begun. I'm altering the fabric of your spirit. Fred by golden thread, crafting grace where shame once reigned and bravery where fear once whispered. I'd want to remind you of certain things that the world has attempted to remove from your memory. You are not what other people have labeled you. You are neither the sum of their judgments nor the reflection of your own uncertainties. I'm the one who named you initially. I referred to you as selected before your lungs had filled with breath. I called you redeemed. I called you mine. I need you to restore your identity because the days ahead will demand you to walk in it with confidence. I did not train you in quiet only for survival. I groomed you for leadership, influence, and change. You are a torchbearer in this age, a rebuilder of shattered walls, and a voice calling forth truth in a country hungry for justice. Yes, you will encounter opposition. The adversary is not idle, and he is concerned about what I want to achieve through you. That explains why you felt the tension rise. That is why discouragement has attempted to push its weight on your chest. But don't be fooled. His desperation is an indication of his approaching loss. When darkness grows, it does not imply that light is missing. It is proof that your light is becoming more powerful, brighter, and hazardous to the empire of falsehoods. Hold your ground, youngster. Plant your feet on the promises I've made. Recite them, think about them, and, if necessary, state them loudly. For when you proclaim my word, you do more than simply encourage your spirit. You wage battle against the unseen. Right, Holy Spirit, guide me if you need heavenly guidance. Today, let me show you something. Every time you complimented me through tears, it formed a seed. Each time you chose integrity while no one was looking, it became a weapon. Every time you forgave when resentment was easier, you created a space for heaven's breath to enter your life. These things were not unnoticed. I was watching. I was recording. And now the harvest is approaching. Not in trickles, but in tolerance. Not in bits, but whole. You've often stated, Lord, I don't want to miss it. Hear me now. I will not let you miss out on what I have planned for you. I will seek you with kindness. When you stray too far from your course, I will redirect you with heavenly diversions. I will bring people into your life, not perfect ones, but meaningful ones. Others will soothe, others will challenge, and some will annoy the parts of you that must die. Each of them will be delivered with affection. Will you allow me to mold you through them? And while we're talking about individuals, let me say something. You've outgrown some areas, as well as certain relationships. It's not cruelty, it's progress. Just as plants shed dead branches to develop fresh fruit, you must relinquish what is no longer alive. I understand that letting go feels like loss. However, in my kingdom, submission is the seed of multiplication. Do not lament what I prune. Celebrate what I'm creating space for. You will not go into the following season lugging old shackles. You will be free, unrestrained, and fearless. I am destroying patterns in your life, cycles of self-sabotage, performance, and fear disguised as control. They finish here. They're done now. A chain breaks with each truth you get and every falsehood you reject. You're not too far gone. You're not too trapped. You're not too late. You are right on time because I, the Lord of Time, live inside you. And where I live, healing flows like a river. Child, you must believe this. Your voice matters. Your obedience is important. Your life is important. You are not just surviving. You are forging a path. You are creating opportunities for people who come after you. Your devotion creates altars in previously barren areas. You may never see the whole effect with your own eyes, but eternity will disclose all. Heaven celebrates your victory for touching every soul, breaking every link, and breaking every generational curse. And I, your God, will exult over you with song before this film concludes. Let us pray together. Dear Jesus, in the tranquility of this moment, I come before you like the calm rivers reflect the sky. I want my heart to mirror your love. The world is noisy and hectic, yet here in the tranquility, I sense your presence. When life gets uncertain, you provide me serenity. You are my rest when I am tired. Help me stay steadfast in faith, just like the trees do around the stream. Lord, I do not have all the solutions. I sometimes feel little in this enormous world. But you remind me that I am important to you. You notice me while I sit in solitude. You hear the words I can't say. You accompany me even when I feel alone. Thank you for never turning away. Jesus, direct my feet. Teach me how to love more like you. Teach me to trust even when the way is uncertain. Let my life be like a calm stream flowing in your path, guided by your Spirit and full of grace. Heal the spots inside me that are aching. Quiet the ideas that cause dread. Replace my anxieties with your tranquility. Today I offer you all I am. My hopes, questions, happiness, and tears. I place these at your feet. Thank you for being my Savior, Shepherd, and friend. May my heart remain near to yours. May I always find you in the stillness, and may your love be the melody that gets me through the day. In Jesus' name, amen. If this message resonated with you, leave an amen in the comments and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Allow the light of Jesus to reach more hearts today.